to talk about my experiences and our experiences. I have Marshall Gans here, who's been working with us for several years now. And so we're not going to deal with any theories, because I think that in community organizing, if you're going to be successful, you have to stick to reality. So we're going to be as real as we can, and we're going to speak out of our experiences. So some things you're going to agree with, and some things, of course, you're not going to agree with. But we won't be here long enough to find out what you agree with, what you disagree with. I think I'd like to start by saying that, like anything, I see no difference in being a successful community organizer or being a successful millionaire. It applies, it has the same principle. If you want to do it badly enough, you'll do it. If you want to do it, you'll have to give up certain things. If it means really that much to you, then you've got to make the sacrifice. People who often sit in the fence and trying to decide what to do with their lives, generally really wind up not doing anything. And so the decision really, the most important decision is making the decision to do it. Once you've decided you want to be an organizer and you want to be successful, not the ordinary run-of-the-mill organizer, but the guy that can, or the woman that can get out there and get people to change things for themselves, then you've got to deal with the first problem you've got to deal with is whether you're going to be a servant or you're going to be of service. Most organizers love people. That is, at a distance.
La plupart des gens qui sont dans l'organisation communautaire, ils aiment les gens, ils veulent faire quelque chose pour eux autres jusqu'à un certain point.
And most organizers want to be of service. That is, from 8 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock in the evening. If you want to be that kind of organizer, I think I'm wasting my time here, because I might be talking somewhere else, or maybe picketing Dominion right now, and probably get further along in the cause of righting the wrongs against humanity. So, but if there's only one of you here, half of you, if I can turn you around, then I've accomplished something.
Okay.
If you're organizing, doing community organization, and you feel comfortable, you're a failure. If you think that you're going to get 1,000% of the people to join your movement, you're a dreamer. But if you study any movements, this includes the great revolutions, and keep in your mind that if you get 3 to 5% of the people to join you to do a particular job, then you're not only a realist, but you're going to be successful. Most organizers say that they're organizing people because they love people. And I don't think that's really true. Because you can't love people and be of service to them. You have to, if you really love people, you have to be a servant to them. The first change in your life when you become an organizer, and maybe not knowingly, you make a determination early in life, the moment you begin to organize people, whether you're going to be a servant or of service. And the first act you do is you get an unlisted number. Because people bother, they're pests. And you want to have your evenings. After all, you're also a human being. And you want to help them, but, well, you need a little time with your family. And so all of us have to deal with that problem. And I dealt with it early in my organizing career. And I think I became successful because I made the right decision.
On a tous à faire face à cette décision, puis moi, j'y ai vécu dès le début de ma carrière.
With a translation, it breaks my timing. And it's my fault for being culturally deprived. I should know how to speak French.
La traduction dérange mon organisation dans le temps, puis c'est ça qui est d'être culturellement deprived, c'est...
And how it came that I dealt with it, and I'm going to tell the little story because that's what I'm going to be dealing with, my life stories about organizing, is that I have been organizing for about a year and a half. And I thought I really knew everything about organizing. After going through the initial stage of a lot of fear and a lot of uncertainty, I had one successful project, and I thought I had arrived. We're strategizing whether I should do longer sections or shorter sections. If I do longer sections, it's easier for me, very hard for the translator, because I have also happened to translate a lot from English to Spanish. If I do shorter sections, it's easier for him, so I'm going to make it easier for him and harder for me.
OK. Il va s'arranger que ce soit facile pour moi en disant des phrases courtes.
But it turned out then that on this particular Sunday, after working a year and a half, I told my wife and my kids then, next Sunday, I'm not going to do anything. I've been working Sundays and Saturdays for a year and a half. I'm going to go to we're going to go and have a picnic in the park. We're going to get lost. Just forget about it for one day so I can come back on Monday with a lot of, well, I'll be able to work. And we made plans then for over a week that on that particular Sunday we're going to go to the park, have a picnic, and just get away from people because, well, I needed a rest. I have to get away from people. And so when that Sunday came, we got up early in the morning, went to Mass, and when we came back to pick up the picnic basket, there was a family there with a big problem. One of their sons was in jail, and they were pleading with me to please go help him. And I looked at my wife and my kids, and I looked at the family, and I was too coward to say no to the family, to the people with a problem, so I spent all day trying to get that man out of jail, but very mad with myself. A lot of conflict. I did it, but I spoiled everything I did because I was very upset because I wanted to have my time. After all, you hadn't had a rest in a year and a half. You can imagine how my wife felt. Incidentally, I should tell you that if you're going to be an organizer, if you're married, for the men and women, you have to organize your spouse before you can be an organizer.
OK.
Shows that women have to need a lot of organization. So it struck me then that I couldn't bear to live with this kind of conflict. As it became very apparent to me that I had to make a decision right away what I was going to do. And it was only two ways. Either I'm an organizer and I work with people forever and ever, or I just get out of it. And so I told my wife that I was going to try it for 6 months, and then I had to make a decision. But that I did not want. I just couldn't live with having to get away from people because I needed to rest and because, well, I wanted some time off. And the decision was obviously that I wanted to be a servant. And from that point on, no conflict. I made up my mind that vacations were out and that holidays were out, and I was going to work day in and day out, and it didn't matter what time they called me. I was more than willing to help. Once you make up your mind to do that, that's probably the greatest decision. And in our lives now, this is how we work. Day and night and every day of the week, and we don't take vacations. See, I'll tell you in a little while how you can take a vacation and still work at the same time. See, the difficulty in community organizing is that if you could have community organization all organized, and then you say, well, I'm tired, I'm going to go to vacation, it's a holiday coming up. If you could take that organization and put it in the freezer and keep it, you'd be in good shape. But it doesn't keep. So after you resolve that conflict, which all of us are faced with, then the second problem is, if you're going to organize people, why waste so much damn time conducting surveys and taking interviews? Just go do it.